Host Morales and from Black Film and TV talking to Dr. Modupe Akinola regarding her not role, but her help with Chris Hemsworth in the new series Limitless. How's it going?
All right. How are you?
Good. So let's explain to everybody how you came on board onto this project.
I study stress in my research. I'm a professor at Columbia Business School, and I look at the situations that stress people out psychologically, physiologically. And so when they were coming up with the idea of Limitless, they reached out to me as an expert in this area to see if I could advise them on situations that cause stress, bodily responses to stress, everything that I knew about stress. And we had some great conversations, and eventually they asked me if I would coach Chris to be his stress coach. And that's how it all happened.
Now, did you have to say to yourself, how long will this take me? How much time is this going to take away from my day job?
You know, yes, yes. For any opportunity, I have to say, okay, how can I, but a couple of days away from my day job in a way that is still contributing to my day job was perfectly fine. Plus, for me being able to have the opportunity to teach people tools and techniques to help them deal with stress when I know that they'll have a wide reach, that is what my true day job is ultimately about and my purpose. So I welcome the opportunity.
Now, knowing that you're going to be on camera, and I don't know if you've done this before, it's one thing when you have a job and you're talking to people regarding this, but knowing that millions of people will be watching you do this, and we're all going to be Googling who you are, yada, yada. You say, did you stress yourself out?
It's interesting because as a researcher, you kind of always have, you always want to make sure that the integrity of your work is captured in the right way. You never want to misrepresent something. Like, I'm a scientist at heart. And so the stressors that I felt are more so like, did we get this right? Does this truly capture the science of stress in a way that my colleagues and I feel really represents our work? And so those were more of the things that I thought about. And when I think about those things, I have to remind myself, like, I've done this for over a decade. I know what I'm doing. I've got this. So that positive self-talk had to overcome that negative self-talk that could say, like, do you know what you're doing? Are you gonna mess this up? So yes, the point is, I recruited the same resources, and I recruit the same resources every day of my life that I taught Chris.
Yeah, so because everything, because we're watching whatever you say, it's going to be seen as gospel. So like when you tell them do this, ease your mind, every word,
Yes.
You say because you're the expert. That's all we know, and it's like,
Yeah.
hey, he knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And for anybody that's looking to do what Chris is doing, they're
Yeah.
going to follow this path.
Yes.
But it's not, you're not just talking to him. You're talking to everybody that likes him, that's going to watch it because of him, that goes through this stuff, whether you're hiking or climbing or anything else.
Yeah.
And how was it? You look at a guy like Chris and you're like, okay, he's in shape, and he's done these movies, even though some of it is CGI, was he stressful enough that you needed to be brought on board?
You know what? If there's anything I know about stress, is that everyone experiences stress. Everyone does. It doesn't matter how physically strong you are, how there is some situation that leads to some stress in one's life. And so I had no doubt that there would be stressors that affect Chris, and that we could create some physical and psychological stressors that would affect him and that would necessitate his reliance on some of the tools that I was going to teach him.
Isn't that how much of it? I always just think, like, why not just get hypnotized? It's like, it's a mind thing, it's like when you're running and you can tell yourself, and this is what I do with myself, like, I can go 3 miles, but can the body go 3 more miles? Don't think about it, just do it, So, yeah. And so when your people are climbing up, they know they can do it, but then their mind starts playing with them as far as, so like when you're talking to Chris or anybody else, do you look for the certain words that they're going to get it? That's going to ease their mind.
So it's interesting because, one of the approaches you just mentioned suggests that we should say, like, I'm fine, don't worry about it, you're good, I'm good. I like to tell people to be present with their stress, which is to acknowledge it and say, like, okay, I'm stressed right now. but then to use some of the positive self-talk to say, I've got this. I'm up for a challenge. I'm courageous instead of I'm going to die. So we need to change and shift our psychology from one of this is bad for me, this is bad, run, 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 to I've got this, this is okay. I'm going to be able to rise to the occasion. And the running analogy really, really resonates with me as I ran the New York Marathon on Sunday. And at mile 23, I had to keep telling myself, you got this, girl. Like I was speaking to myself, you've got this. You've got this. Your body can do this. You've trained for this. You've got this. So much more. Just breathe too. So get in your rhythm. And so, yes, that was a physical stressor, but I needed the same thing that I tell myself in other situations, yeah. And that Chris needed to be told too. You're all right. You've got this. Breathe through it. Yeah.
So, as you're talking, I'm saying to myself, it's a mind thing because, as you mentioned, the physical stress, it's the part where you have to keep the stress level down for it not to affect the heads where you can get a headache, or the heart, where you're beating too much,
Yeah.
because that's what it is. It's either you're going to get a headache or you're having an anxiety attack.
Right. Or you're going to get a headache, or you're not going to sleep well, or you're going to have indigestion, or you're also going to eat bad foods, yell at your family. So there's the psychology of it, the emotions that you associate, but there's also the biology of it and your behaviors. And all of these, we need to be all attentive to each of these as we experience stress.
Hmm. And then, what did you get out of doing this? In terms of when you finished completing this, or as you were doing this, were you learning anything in the process about yourself or about the job?
Yeah, okay, so a couple of things. One is I know this from other research, not my own, that stress is contagious. And so as his heart is beating, my heart is beating, and I had to recruit the same resources that I was telling him, okay, breathe, he's got this. So how can we make sure that when we are supporting other people through their stress, that we're not passing on our own stress to them? So that's one thing that this emphasized for me. The other thing, I think I said this earlier, was that we all have stressors, and that you could be, famous and amazing, all that, and great physical shape, but your kids acting crazy in a restaurant is going to stress you out,
Mhm.
and so how do you learn to be your best self in those moments is important. And the other thing is, gosh, if we don't learn how to deal with some of these things now, it'll really affect our longevity. And so again, seeing someone in perfect physical shape, but still needing this, is a reminder that we need to kind of balance the mind and body to be able to live happier and healthier lives, So those are some of the additional reminders. I have to say one more thing, which is, I live these tools all the time in my daily life, in what I teach others, but to see and remember that not everyone has access to these tools or knows their power was something that I took away. Like even just some of the crew when we were filming, they were like, wow, some of the things you said, I'm now putting to practice. And so if the crew felt that way when we were filming, it really touches me to know that, across the globe, when this series is watched, others will be able to take away some really important tools that will help them live healthier, happier, and longer.
At any given time, did you want to do some of the stuff that he did? Climb the skyscraper, do the edge. Have you done the edge? You live in New York
Um,
City.
I
Have you
have
done the edge?
the edge. I would have climbed the skyscraper, but the thing about it is that you have to have like the right size harness, and I am not Chris's size, so they did not have,
I mean,
all
they
size.
didn't have. Come on, girl,
No,
stop.
I mean it's a big deal to be able to like get all that equipment right so that a person doesn't fall 900 feet. Okay, so I would have definitely tried that, but I did try the beam walk and other things. I would not have wanted to do the drown proofing. That no, thank you. I'm a scuba diver, and
But
I
you're
like.
supposed to be. You're the queen of the stress mind games. Like you got this.
It's not a question about whether I got it or not. I could do it. I just did not want to do drown proofing. I do not like I don't like that type of physical water stressor. I like the ocean, but not that. So that was one thing that I felt like, yeah, I don't need to do that. But yeah.
So what do you hope people get out of this after watching, this show, and they've seen you, talk about this, like obviously, you're talking to one person physically, but you're talking to all of us. What do you want people to get out of it from what they see, from what you're explaining to them?
I want them to know that we all experience stress from different types of things, but it's on us and we have the power to be present with that stress and manage that stress in a way that makes our lives more sustainable. There's too much that we deal with on a regular basis. I want people to live longer and healthier and to try different things. And I hope that's what they'll get out of this episode.
Mhm. Now, personally, do you do anything, to like anything similar to this? Like, do you go, bike riding or hiking or, outside of this, or you just day
You
job?
know that
You,
I am an athletic person, and for me, being outdoors is really important. So as I said, I ran the marathon. I'm a runner. It helps in stress management. I do hike. I wouldn't say I'm a hiker, but I do hike. I also scuba dive. Scuba dive teaches you how to breathe, and that practice has been really, really important for me. So yeah, I use all the tools. I'm a meditator. I meditate an hour every day. Like I practice what I preach.
Mhm. So we are good to go. It's good talking to you. Obviously, we'll let people know that Dr. Modupe Akinola is the one that helped Chris Hemsworth do what he do, on the show. And I'm sure we'll see you down the road, because I'm sure after this, people will be hiring you for other shows, and you're gonna be like, "This is that girl, that the expert."
Step by step, day by day.
Day by day,
Great
you know.
chatting to you,
So
Wilson. And,
hopefully we're off the record now. How long did you take you to do the marathon?
5 hours and 2 minutes.
That's good. Was this your first time?
It wasn't. It was my second. It was. I did it in 4:48 last time, so
Okay.
it was cooler last time. So I'm blaming the hot weather for that, and I stopped to say hi to friends and family. So
Oh, really? What? In the
yeah,
middle of a run?
yeah, gonna cheer me on. I'm gonna thank them. I know we have to go because I know we have that we're on a schedule, but thanks for asking. It was a great experience.
I won't be in town next week to see you, because I know they have the premiere, but I'll be out of town. But hopefully down the road we'll catch up.
Sounds great.
Take care.
All right, take care.